Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today with Michael Killen. If you guys here in Crowdcast could just let me know that you're seeing us and hearing us, that would be very helpful. Let us know in the chat there. And yeah, looks like we have people saying hello. Just confirm that you see and hear the video feed as well. All is good. All right, cool. Thanks, Beth.
And me
Fantastic.
Too.
And Mike too.
Side, yeah.
Should be. And we should be live on Facebook as well. And I'll go confirm that in a little bit. But awesome. Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you here. We are doing a sales webinar with Michael Killen, the one and only. So I'm very excited about today. I love it. Anytime we get to do anything with Mr. Killen, he's just fantastic. Fantastic person, fantastic resource on sales and lead generation and all of that. And I know we have tons of Mike Killen friends and fans in this community. So thanks for joining us today, Mike.
Thank you for having me. I love being with you guys.
Awesome. Well, let's get started. I'll do a quick intro and we'll cut straight to the chase. So for anyone who doesn't already know me, I'm Emily from GoWP, and we are here for today's webinar with Michael Killen. And we're going to be talking about how he generated 70,000, I don't know if it's dollars or pounds, but 70,000 units of money, right? Not coins.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In leads from a tiny list that he had from scratch. Mike Killen is the founder of Sell Your Service, for those who don't know. We already did a test of the chat, so that's working. If you are watching on Facebook, let me know, and I'll be over there to check in just a bit to make sure that's up and running. And really quick, I just want to say a couple words about GoWP in case anyone watching isn't familiar with us. At GoWP, we create happiness for digital agencies and help them to become more profitable. So whether you're looking to grow your team with a developer, copywriter, designer, virtual assistant, or you're interested in outsourcing services like website maintenance, content edits with a white label partner, so you can focus on growth and get yourself out of the weeds, we've got you covered. So we'd be happy to have those conversations. And we've also built the Digital Agency Owners community, which is an active community of over 2,000 people. And if you're not already there, you can hit that button down at the bottom and join us. It's a Facebook community. And we stream the webinars there. We do basically weekly happiness hour calls on Fridays that are fantastic casual conversations with other agency owners where we help each other kind of bust through problems and celebrate our wins and just talk about what's going on. So we'd love to have you there. A few notes regarding the webinar. I will be watching the chat here. So if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat and we'll get that to you. I see Wendell here. GoWP rocks my world. We love you, Wendell. Thank you. There's also the Ask a Question feature down at the bottom if you're here on Crowdcast, and you can put questions in there as well if you'd like. If not, that's fine. You can put them in the chat and I'll see them, and I'll probably just throw them in the Ask a Question so we keep them all in the same place. So that's where you can put that. And other than that, let's get to why we're here today. So we're here for Michael Killen. So he is the founder of Sell Your Service, a company dedicated to helping entrepreneurs and businesses sell their services without resorting to high pressure sales tactics. He's a marketing expert and author of several books, including From Single to Scale, which is a book that teaches business owners how to grow their business without sacrificing their sanity. And he's got other great books too, 5-Figure Funnels. What's the most recent one? The
Sell Futures, Not Features.
Yeah. Futures, Not Features. Exactly. Love it. So I'll put some links in here. You guys can go check those out if you haven't already. But yeah, Mike, take it away.
Awesome. Hey guys. Hey Bobby, you're saying that my volume's low. Can everyone else hear me okay? Am I super low on your end?
It sounds good to me, okay. But maybe it's coming out differently for folks watching. I'm not sure.
Yeah, if people want to just say in the chat if it is super low, I'll see if I can do something. But if not, I don't know, Bobby. And maybe it's my accent. I don't know, buddy. So thank you so much for kind of bringing me on, Emily. And I just want to say thanks to GoWP. We've been with you guys for, it's probably pushing 10 years now. It's a long time. And I just kind of shove more and more stuff over. So it's a little bit low. Okay. You guys might have to, well, you might be able to turn up your sound now because I think Emily's kind of going to mute herself in a minute. And so.
Yep, I'll go ahead and see myself out.
Sorry, guys, we can try it that way. So apologies. Hopefully we can level that. Don't know what's happening there. this is a sales webinar, but when I say sales webinar, I don't mean I'm going to be pitching you. I mean, I'm going to be helping you sell something. I'm going to be looking over to this screen quite a lot. So if I'm not making eye contact with you all the time, please don't worry about that. Really quickly, how long have we got? I've got this in as 60 minutes. Is that correct? I can do a, but if someone could let me know how long we've got, that'd be great.
60 minutes is good, Mike.
Perfect. Okay, excellent. So the goal today is I want to take you through a process that we've used multiple times to generate 30,000, 20,000, 50,000, 70,000, most recently $120,000 for 5 clients this year within 90 days. So 5 clients of ours this year within 90 days generated $120,000 worth of sales, which to me is pretty sick. I'm obviously super stoked about that. We're going to get into all of that, but the most important thing is how they did it with a really small list. A lot of the marketing that you're going to see and is the guys talking about. And yes, you absolutely should be building an email list. You should be building an audience. I'm happy to talk a little bit about how we do that. But some of this stuff was done with like an email list of 70 people, super small. Okay. Really, really, really compact. I'm going to share my screen quickly because I want to show you guys. I think it's very easy for me to talk about theory. I'm going to show you the people that we've done it with. And then if you want to check it out and verify it, you can be like, oh, this actually does work. This isn't just typical marketing kind of hype and nonsense. So this one here. So this is our success stories page. Sharon, 50K. Sheila, some of these names you might even recognize, 20,000, 70 grand. There's a ton of sales and a ton of like interviews and clips with the people that we've done this with. What I'm going to be teaching you is what I do with them and what they do with their clients as well. It's a very easy, simple process. It makes life very, very easy. And obviously we do it, right? $25,000 client. This was with a $10,000 deposit as well. There we go, $10,000 deposit. Oh no, that's the coaching program. This came with a 10,000 euro deposit. Fully booked, tiny list. I don't talk about the size of the list. In this case, it was about 70 people, and same again, second time. So this is 11 days ago, right? So again, this isn't like a case of I used to be good. The reality is what we're doing every single day works, but there's a reason behind it. So if you guys want to follow along, I'm going to be doing it on the whiteboard. I tend not to do slides anymore because they require a little bit of prep and practice, and that's just not for me. The goal that I want us to work for is $70,000. So the first question that I want to ask then is, and you can put this in the chat. This would be really. Sheila is awesome. I will wax lyrical about Sheila. I absolutely adore her. If you guys could let me know in the chat, how many clients would it take you to hit $70,000? This is the first piece, and this is a really critical piece because I think people make it very, very difficult themselves. Just put a number into the chat. If you sell a $10,000 product, that would mean it takes you 7 clients, right? This is not a trick question. If you sell a $1,000 product, it will take 70 clients. If you sell a $100 product, it'll take 700 clients. Let me know in the chat what your number is. And if you can't answer this, your problem probably isn't lead generation or sales. It's probably that you don't have a standard product offering. I'm seeing like 0 numbers in the chat. It's fine. We're going to wait. There's a lot of people in here, and I promise you, when one person puts their first number in, I guarantee the rest will flood in. So we're going to leave it. Here we go. Beautiful. Santosh says 35. All right. Who else? 14 to 20. All right, cool. 14, 20, 23, 10, 20. Sick. This is great. Thank you so much, guys. This is awesome. This is way more what I wanted to see. 14. All right, we've got another 14. I'll write that in. Okay. 30, fantastic. 25, okay, cool. Thank you so much, guys. Maybe there's a bit of a delay. That's awesome. So we haven't got anyone going down to 7 or 5 or anything like that. The first thing that you guys need to understand is that in order for us to massively increase the increase the amount of revenue that we're able to generate, 73, right? Cotella says 0. Not sure how that works. No clients. You don't need any clients. The money just rolls in. I can't help it. Every time I look in my pockets, there's more money. The problem is that fundamentally, we all think we have a sales problem, a marketing problem, like a copy problem, an offer problem, all of this. You probably don't. Your biggest problem to start with is almost certainly price. And the reason for this is because we massively undervalue what we do, and we massively overcomplicate what we sell. And so what we have done with multiple clients is we have kept their same product, exactly the same price, and we have doubled it immediately. Now, most people, when they hear that, they go, that's impossible. There's no way I could go from, who had 14? So what's that, 5,000 roughly? If I've done the maths right there. There's no way I could go from $5,000 to $10,000 doubling it. And the mistake we make is we think, well, if I double it, then I have to double the amount of value that I add. I have to double the amount of work, and it becomes less profitable. And I'm not asking you to do that at all. If anything, you probably need to strip some things out of your product or service. And I'm going to prove that to you in a second, because one of the case studies that we used was one of our clients. She offered like a consulting package where I just decided to go 5K. Now I just need 14 clients. Where can I cut one of yours in half then, Christine? if you want to double your prices, that's awesome. But I'm going to show you like how we could do 24,000, because this was actually this was a few different products put together for this one particular client. It was actually two $35,000 sales, which is, and I'll talk about all of the numbers, and I'll cut all this out. So if you're thinking some of these numbers are huge, massive, scary, I promise you this is all going to make sense in a second. If we continue to add value and add services, we end up reducing our profit levels. Whereas if you're able to take what you currently offer, double the price, and keep it as what you're working on, there's no reason for you to have to add anything. The problem comes down to the offer, and we'll talk about that in a bit. One of the case studies we worked on, this lady offered some consulting. So I think she did like a 12-week consulting program with them. She built a lot of the, in our case, funnels and marketing services throughout it. And she was charging something like $5,000 for this whole process. And I challenged her. I said, well, let's bump that up to 10. And let's remove a load of the services. You don't need to do SEO for them. You don't need to do an email audit. You don't need to do any of that. And that's terrifying, because you're like, well, it feels like you're removing rooms from a house and then you want to sell the house, right? And that can be very, very scary. I've got a couple of things here. I have a signature system. I've learned from that bloke in Australia. We learned so much. You're going to have to be more specific about that, I'm afraid, Ben. But I have no sales with it. Frankly, my monthly minimum income would be $1,500 for 3, 6 months, 1 year. Okay, cool. Well, if that's for marketing, SEO, care plans, etc., 35 per client doesn't seem unreasonable per year. But you don't need to do, so Devidas, this is the point. You don't need to do SEO and care plans and all of that. You don't need to do all of that. You can do way less. And I'm going to prove it to you in a second. So the mistake most people make is, first of all, they have way too many clients they're trying to go after. Our goal at Sell Your Service, the kind of metric that we run by, is, as I mentioned, this 120,000. a year. That's what we try to increase everyone by within about 6 months, 90 days, 6 months, something like that. That equates to 10,000 a month increase in sales, which roughly equates to 5 $2,000 a month clients, which means that each one is roughly 24,000. And if I told you how little work we're getting our guys to do for $2,000 a month, you'd probably be a little bit terrified at how much work you are doing. Now, the reason that you are over delivering is frankly because your offer is crazy weak. So hopefully this first piece here on price, I've at least convinced you to double your price, because I'm going to tell you it's got nothing to do with what you deliver, and we know that categorically. We know that's true. Price has got absolutely nothing to do with what people get. Nothing at all. If that was the case, then luxury brands wouldn't exist. I want less work. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, exactly what I'm looking for. Work less and make more. I need to increase your membership fee. Probably, Beth. Yeah, a lot. So here's the next piece I want to talk about. Offer. So get ready to jump into the chat again, guys. Let's take 35,000 as a baseline product. Okay. Let's say you have to sell something for 35,000. If anyone's been following me for a long time, you'll know that a long time ago I used to say 10 grand, then it went to 15, then it was 25, now I'm at 35. So the amount of money I keep telling people to charge keeps going up, but frankly, the amount of work that I'm telling them to do is continually going down. So $35,000. You can either answer this question, but ultimately in the chat, let me know, what is your offer? What do you do? Why would someone give you any money, yet alone $35,000? Don't overthink it. When I come and talk to you guys live, in some of the events where I've seen you and had the pleasure of kind of interacting with people face to face, when you meet other people in networking events, what is the offer? What is it that you say you do? What do you turn around to your potential prospects and leads and say to them? Tell me what you would say. What's the offer? What are you going to do? Write it in the chat. I'm going to take as much time as you need because I want to get these answers in here. Don't overthink it. You can list it out if you feel you need to. If you want to use $35,000, or if you want to use your current numbers up here for your prices, what do you say you do? If someone says, great, Mike, what do you do? What do I get? What do you tell them? Okie dokie. Beautiful. I help them make more money online. Okay, cool. Brand strategy, web design, web marketing, website care plans. Fantastic. Okay, logo and brand identity design. Great. I assist businesses to reach their ideal client. Cool. I create bespoke websites that help them make more money. Cool. I help women business owners grow their business through personalized branding and marketing systems so they can get their life back. I help them make more money. Beth says, teach folks how to get projects completed on time, within budget, with features that meet the client business's requirements. Stop losing ROI. Cool. This might cover the UX phase of the project. Yeah, VOC, research, conversion copy, maybe wireframes. Okay, thank you, Andrew. All right, awesome. There are some businesses that are charging $100,000 a day for what you're offering. There are some businesses charging nothing on YouTube for what you're offering. We help businesses grow leads and search and sales in search engines. Cool. Why is one agency or person able to charge crazy amounts of money, and why are some people barely able to charge anything or giving it away for free? And we always think, in fact, why do you guys think? Why do we have this spectrum of people who are able to charge 100 grand a day, and people who are doing free, and then we've got us kind of somewhere in the middle here? Why are people able to do this? Again, answer in the chat. Why are they able to justify that kind of price? Why are they able to put themselves up there. Andrew says positioning, interesting. It depends on who you're selling to. Oh, Elizabeth. Wow, that is beautiful. Bigger marketing budget. Okay. Any others? It's not a trick question. Perceived expertise. Interesting. Mindset, positioning, better deliverables. Okay. The reason that someone is able to charge $100,000 and some people are barely able to give it away is not expertise. You figured out access to qualified leads? No, nothing like that. It's got nothing to do with that. Positioning and premium service? Yeah, nothing to do with the quality of the service. Nothing at all to do with the quality of the service. We know that again, and I'm going to show you some examples where we know this to be true. The only reason that one agency is able to charge exponentially more money than the other is because the client thinks that it is a steal to pay $100,000 for the result that they're getting. That's it. Because they think, oh my God, this is crazy money. I'd love to pay $100,000 for what we're going to get. That's it. Some people call this perceived value. Some people call this all this kind of stuff. All I want you to think about is these two words: sell money. Without question, the absolute most fundamental and easy way for you to increase your prices and start getting people interested is to sell money. If I tell you we have a coaching program with one call a week, it's $2,000 a month, and it's a minimum a year sign up, but we're going to show you how to do $120,000 in revenue. Does that sound like a steal? It's not a trick question. You go, yeah, of course it is. I'd love that. Now, for some people, it's outside their budget. That's a different question. We qualify them out. That's fine. But if I say to one of my clients, yeah, we'd comfortably be able to increase your revenue by $100,000 within the next 90 days. And it's going to cost you 35 grand up front. And then from then on, it's a rolling contract of 5 grand a month. They're going to go, yeah, not a problem. That sounds great. Awesome. Great. Here's the money. You are not selling money. And as agencies, that's pretty much all we have. People can talk about, as in your clients, can talk about brand positioning and how they want to attract a bigger market. I'll guarantee you, if I turn around to them and said, you can do that, you can do the brand positioning, all of that, love that, or you can land 5 50 grand clients, which would you want? They'll go, I'll actually take the client. Thank you. Depends on what I'm doing for the 10K a month. I think there's a bit of a delay, Andrew, so I think that's a question to something I've said earlier, but that's fine. I'm happy to cover all of this. Now, the problem is, of course, people go, well, how the hell can I guarantee that kind of result to customers? Like, there's no way that I could do that. What you need to think, and this is all we've done, right, is how on earth could I make it seem that $35,000 is a steal to work with someone? How have I sold them that amount of money? Now, you can either talk about saving money, recruitment, things like that. That works really well in the saving money space, or making money. When it comes down to what you're offering, that's it. All I have to do is say I have a program that's 3K a month and I'll show you how to generate X a year. That's the minimum to sign up. Yeah, pretty much, Christine. I wish it was more complex than that. And I'm going to kind of give you guys an overview of the campaigns we use. But yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Christine, that literally is it. I wish it was just more complex than that. Look, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a bit because I need to make sure that this gets across. Everyone's talking about AI and all this kind of crazy stuff out there at the moment. The cold, hard reality is that is going to hit our industry like a ton of bricks. Already, We have just seen one of our team members create the entire campaign, not just like a few emails, the campaign, the headline, the hook, the landing page, the script, and it even comes with script directions, so like shot directions, all through ChatGPT. It is not going to be that long before you will be able to log into something like this and say, I need you to build me a landing page that basically sets up and gives away a PDF that teaches people how to start a YouTube channel. And if you could think of some great bullet points, that'd be great. Oh, and of course, if you could create the landing page, that'd be fantastic. That's probably a few months, maybe a couple of years away. The work that we do is changing. The way that you will start working with better and higher quality clients is by telling them the money that they can make. You need to sell money. That's it. If you guys are in the automation space, you need to say to your clients, what's your salary per year? And they'll say, I pay myself roughly 100 grand. Okay, fantastic. How often are you setting up email campaigns to send them out, or whatever that might be? They'll say, well, we do a few email campaigns and we have some calendar meetings. I go, great. How often do people forget those calendar calls or those calendar appointments? I'll say, probably 1 in 3, 1 in 4. Okay, what's your hourly rate? 100,000 a year. If they're working a full week, is roughly $500 or something like that, right? So that's cost them $500 for every single client that doesn't turn up to a call because it's an hour wasted. That's $500. So that's how you can sell money that way. We use this for recruiting. We use this for like the more soft skills. So like leadership and management capabilities. There's a leadership team. They have 5 people reporting to them. Those meetings where they're having to kind of work out inter-team conflict, that costs them 5 hours a month. If there's 3 people involved, all on 6-figure salaries, easily each meeting is what, $1,500 per meeting? 5 meetings a month. What's that? 7.5 grand a month. And you say, well, I can come in and I can remove that. We need to be able to sell money right at the start. I hope that makes sense so far. I'm going to talk about how we can continue to do that. I don't think there's any other questions come in. Cool. Okay. Does this make sense so far, guys? Let me do a quick temperature check. Is this... call me out on it. If you think this is bullshit, call me out on it. I'm really, really, really happy to talk about it. But I am going to talk to you about this second piece, which is like how you can actually figure this out. Are we good with this? Do you deal with people asking for refunds if you don't meet guarantees? Perfect. Thank you, Andrew, because I know this question is going to come up, and that's what I'm going to cover here. If I pay you 2K a month and you say you'll increase my revenue by 10K a month, my revenue doesn't increase, how do you handle that? I've always stayed away from selling money because it feels like a false promise. We can make educated guesses on revenue increases, but nothing is guaranteed. Just curious on what your thoughts are on this. Strongly disagree. They are guaranteed if you work with the right clients. For graphic designer, are you comparing hiring me to hiring someone in-house? You can do that. You certainly can do that, Elizabeth. Yeah, if you can attach a dollar value on it, you certainly can do that, 100%. And then some, right? We'll talk about that in a second. We need the formula from your colleagues to generate campaigns. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. Not sure how to sell them money if their results depend on their ability to implement what I teach them. Okay, Beth. How much does it cost them every time a project goes over? Right? And we're going to talk about this because the most important piece to understand about being able to deliver results to customers has got nothing to do with you. It's a complete myth that how hard you work impacts the results the customer gets. It's a complete myth. It's a complete fabrication. My wife is a running coach. Emily, you did a run recently. Was it a half? Was it off-road? It looked pretty hardcore. I saw a couple of...
I've done a few, but
Yeah.
I did a half marathon last weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations. What was your time?
Thank you. It was just under 3 hours. It was a trail half marathon. So
yeah, that's good. Yeah, for trail.
Mud and climbing. Yeah.
Yeah, sick. That's really good. Okay. So for half marathon runners, I am not one of those. My wife is. She's done literally dozens of them. She's in a thing called the 100 Half Marathon Club, right? I try not to take it as an affront to my marriage that she spends as much time as possible running as far away from me as possible, but she's a running coach. And there's this mystic number of the sub 2 half. So A full marathon, 26.2 miles. A half marathon, 13.1 miles. It's actually anything over 13.1 miles, but that's the standard definition, right? 13.1 miles. To run a sub 2 hour half marathon is considered like really good. If people really get into it, that's what they want to hit, right? I've never done that, not even close. Olivia has two choices with the types of clients that she can work with. She'll have two people approach her. One will say, I'd love to do a sub 2 hour marathon. And one will say, I'd love to run my first marathon. Which do you think is more likely to pay a higher fee to hit that goal? We all think, well, it's the starting one, and it's not. The person who is actually closest to getting a sub 2 hour marathon is more likely to pay. If someone can do a 2.2, so a 2:02, like 2 hours 2 minutes, shaving off that 2 minutes sounds really easy, but it is extremely difficult. They are much closer to getting the sub 2 than the other person. But weirdly, because that gap is small, they're actually more likely to pay for it, because the achievement and the value and the feeling of hitting that final sub 2 is what she works with. So what does she do? She audits them way before she even has a conversation about what if they want to work with her, way before. What are your current past 10 times that you've hit? How often are you able to train? What's your budget for new trainers? What's the longest you've run? What's the shortest you've run? When was your last half marathon? When do you want to hit your half marathon by? She audits them to see whether they are suitable to hit goals under her training program. What most of us are doing is working with anyone, and then when we talk about guaranteeing some kind of crazy result, we think, well, not everyone's going to hit that. You're absolutely right. Not everyone's going to hit that. So what we need to do is figure out, what do they need in order for us to think, this is a home run. I'll do this in my sleep. So the first question, and you guys can follow this along, presumably this is being recorded, so we can take screenshots or whatever it is. The first question is, what's your price? So what's your new price? And maybe you say, I'm going to meet Mike in the middle, and I'm going to go for 10 grand. Awesome. Am I jumping in and out? Maybe that's me just yelling into
It sounds all right to me, but I think one of our attendees was having some issues and they refreshed and it was okay.
Okay, sorry guys. So what's the price? Next up, and this is the real like important question. What does that client need to have in order for me to get results even if they could only pay me after they got results. Hypothetically, if you could only work with someone who could only pay you after they got results, what would they need to have in order for you to think, I'll do this right now? Sure, jump on board. Let's go. What would they need to have in order to get like a crazy ROI? Let's do a 10x. Okay, that's $100,000. Again, it's not a trick question. If you could say to your clients, I'm going to help you make $100,000, would that be worth 10 grand? They'll go, yes, I will pay that day in, day out. Great. What do they need to have? It would be really helpful if they had a product that was over $10,000 for a start. No, I'm not working with course creators who sell their courses for $297. So first of all, they probably need to have a decent price. I'm actually going to move this down a bit so I can write in here. And I've added the line in the exact same place. Very good. Here we go. So they probably need to have a product that's 10K plus, maybe. They probably already need to be doing sales. This is what I mean by the people who are closer to the sub 2-hour half marathon are more likely to pay more. Probably need to be doing sales. Maybe they have an ad budget. They've got clients already, got leads. They've got a list of people they can go out to. They're coachable, right? They're not just willing to be, say, who here, and you can let me know in the chat or not, but everyone's had those clients. Who here has had one of those clients where you're like, okay, what we need to do is landing page, email campaign, Facebook group, and they go, no, we're not going to do that. We've never done that before. And you're like, why have you hired me? What is the point? So coachable, right? That's a real big red flag for us straight away. Can I tell this person to do something? And they'll go, yeah, all right, I'll do it. There's a ton of stuff that they need to be doing. And the mistake that we make is we work with anyone to try and get them great results. And we shouldn't be doing that. We should be working with people who fit this criteria and qualifying them way more, way, way, way more. Do you have a list already? Yeah. Are you coachable? Are you able to handle fast growth? How much are you spending on other programs? Do you work with other people? Again, another red flag. Yeah, we've worked with a bunch of designers in the past, but they've kind of haven't worked out. We've had to fire them. That to me is a red flag. Because you're like, were all of them really difficult to work with? And they go, yeah. And they go, I'm going to guess that it's you is the one who is difficult to work with. So what do they need to have? And these are the questions you start asking on the call, because you're not going to have a problem having people say, I'd like to apply to work with you when you're selling money. When you're able to say, all I want to do is find you a $35,000 client, one $35,000 client, it's going to cost you $5,000. I go, yeah, I'll pay that. Great. It's $1,000 a month or whatever for 6 months. That's $6,000. But yeah. The next question is, what are the first three things you'll do? 1, 2, 3. In order to get them this result from this client, what are the first three things that we'll do? Because when you're having a conversation with them and you're chatting with them and you say, great, you've got a current list. Close my window as my neighbor decides to mow his lawn. You've got a list, you've got clients, you've got products. And we often look at those customers and go, but they're crushing it already. Like, I don't understand it. Case in point, right? I have recently just joined a, frankly, ludicrously expensive YouTube coaching platform by a guy called I absolutely adore. His name is Ed from Film Booth. I highly recommend checking him out. I was really surprised that I was accepted into his program, because I was like, there's no way that he's going to be able to help us, because my channel's too like small or whatever. And then sure enough, my imposter syndrome skyrocketed when I saw that the people who are inside this group who need help with YouTube have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and hundreds of thousands of views. And I'm like, oh, I don't fit in here. I managed to get in, so I'm just going to kind of keep quiet. But you'd look at those channels and you think they must be absolutely crushing it. Not the case. They are so close to their goal that they'll be willing to pay anything to bridge that gap. In the past, we've often talked about like the size of the gap and the size of the problem is like the value, and that's true. So if I'm here to here, that is a really big gap. That's $100,000 gap, for example. Whereas here to here is like a $10,000 gap. That's true. But what we actually find is that people's perception is that if they are here and they need to get to here, they might be here. They might actually be here. And that is a $100,000 problem. because they haven't bridged that gap yet. You either are someone who runs sub 2 hour marathons, or you're someone who doesn't run sub 2 hour marathons. Oh, sugar. Sorry, guys. Here we go. So I'll do that again super quick. We believe that A to B, that's the big gap, that's worth 100,000. That is true. And A to little A.1 is a smaller gap. That's only worth 10,000. Okay. However, the perception in our minds is not that we are here. It's actually in real life, we're way closer than we realize. And business owners are the same. The business owners who you're looking at for this stuff up here, they are the same. They're like, why can't we just breach that next 6 figures? Why can't we do that? Why am I struggling to add 5 figures a month? We're doing 50,000, 60,000, 50,000, 60,000, 50,000, 60,000. Why can't I just do 60,000, 70,000, 60? Why can't I do that? And there's so many reasons why. But I'll promise, if you dig around inside their business and really root around, you'll go, oh, I can see why. And you'll fix it. It's not the size of the gap, it is the perception. You either run a sub 2 hour marathon or you don't. Even though you're at 2:02, you have not run a sub 2 hour marathon yet. And because the pressure builds, the irony is that people are willing to pay much, much more to bridge those gaps, even though they're much closer than you realize. Don't be afraid to work with clients you think these guys are crushing it already. This is what I mean by it's actually not on you as to who is successful. So, and I'm going to come back to your question, Andrew, about guarantees, right? I will come back to that. So, what are the first 3 things that you'll do in order to get them those results? It might be completely different, your clients, for whatever it is, right? First, you might do, I don't know, a quick sales campaign. You might rewrite their ads, and then you might call their previous clients or something like that. I don't know. But wouldn't you know, that's your sales pitch, basically. Here's what we're going to do. We'll rewrite your sales copy, we'll redo some of your ads, and we'll call your clients to get you that result. How does that sound? Great. When can you start? Tomorrow. Here's a deposit. Sign up here. It's a checkout account, a checkout page. Final question, number 4. In order to 10x your monthly revenue, how many of these would you need to sell, or even your yearly revenue? If you think on average, I do 100,000 a year, 200,000, 500,000, I don't know. How many of these sales would it take to 10x that number? Or more importantly, how many of these sales would you need to even just match it? And if you're doing like 5,000 a month, what would one $10,000 sale do? What would 5 $10,000 sales do? It would completely transform your business. So on the question of refunds, the short answer is yes, we absolutely offer refunds, as in we do, but we encourage people to, because you're going to be auditing them so much. And you do it on a monthly. And I promise you, I'm about to do into the campaign as to what to send people. I promise you we're going to do that in a second. But you had to understand selling money, and then how you can sell money is by what type of client you work with. And then I'm just going to go through the campaign in a second, right? And I'll show you where you can find these clients. If someone doesn't get the results, that is probably not your fault, but this is why we have a 30-day cooling off period, or we suggest a 30-day cooling off period. Say, great, pay as a deposit. There's a bunch of different ways you could do it. For a $24,000 client, $2,000 a month is a really sick deal. Remember, you're not saying we do website and SEO and maintenance and all this kind of stuff. You're just selling money. You're selling time lost. You're selling, if people want to take time away from their business, you say, okay, you work 6 days a week. You want to get that down to 4, so that's 2 days. How much would you pay to get those 2 days back? They'd say, oh man, I would gladly pay 50 grand to be able to get 2 days off a week now. So I'm only doing 4 days a week. Go, awesome. Well, it just so happens that my program is 24,000. So I've already doubled your ROI there. Great. Start talking about those types of numbers. If someone isn't working out and they're not doing the work, we have a walkaway policy. We've only ever had, for us personally, one person ask for the full refund ever. We've had a few people walk away. We've had a few people say, we've had a few people where we've turned them away. We've said, I just don't think you're doing the work. What I have found is the ones who stick around a long time and just build it into their costs. But because we have such a specific process, you have a specific process for getting them results, I really wouldn't worry about it. So here's the final piece, right? How we actually did this. Here's what we did. In one case, it was 70 people. I think another was 120. I'll do those two because I can't remember what the third one is. It was, again, it's in the dozens or the hundreds. It's not in the tens of thousands in terms of an email list size or a social following. So what are we doing? We sold money, right? So we said, we're going to help you do X. And all they sent was an email that basically said something along the lines of, I want to work with 5X type of client. Who do you guys work with? Give me some niches. If I scroll up, it's interesting again, no one said who they work with. Who gets the first niche, and I'll write you your lead generation campaign. Thank you, engine manufacturer. Thank you very much, Bobby. Engine. I want to work with 5 engine manufacturers who want to, whatever the thing is. What is the thing they want? What's the money you're going to sell them? Land 10, $50,000 clients. In the next 30 days. Reply, comment, whatever you want to do. It's specific, it calls people out. You can add to this, you can make it longer where you can say, hey, I want to help an engine manufacturer add $500,000 onto their top line revenue, but they have to have a current client list of over 100 clients. If that's you, we should have a conversation. That's it, right? Who we position this to is super simple. I can't remember if I've shared this with you guys before. S is subscribers. So this is your email list. You could absolutely send this to your entire email list. L is leads. Who in the past has reached out to you who you've either never got back to or they've ghosted you? I'll promise you, when you start sending short, super specific emails like this, I'll guarantee you that they'll start going, oh, yes, actually, I don't want to ghost you anymore, right? A is appointments. Who have you had a call with in the last 12 months, regardless of whether they turned into a client or not, who you think, well, they know me, we've had a conversation with them, but they turned me down for whatever reason? We can reposition the same offer to them. The first S is subscribers, so your email list, right? Thank you, Emily. Or your social following, right? If you have a social following. A, appointments in the last 12 months. Who have you had conversations with in the last 12 months? P, proposals. Who have you written proposals to in the last 12 months? And maybe you've written, for the sake of argument, 10 and 2 of them have closed. That means you've got 8 people who almost bought. This is your sub 2-hour marathon. I promise you that these people here are going to be the most likely to buy from you if you put super hyper specific offers towards them and then audit them and charge them for the audit, but dig into it. So proposals. Uh, oh, hey Patrick, how you doing? WordPress dev agencies. Okay, so hey Patrick, I know we spoke a little while back, and the offer wasn't quite right for you. That's absolutely fine. I know that you ended up going off with this other agency or other provider. How's that working out, by the way? That's a really powerful one to ask. If someone has gone to another supplier, how's that working out for you? Yeah, they're fine. Hey, look, I'm really sorry to hear that. We're currently running a program where we're helping, WordPress dev agencies land a $25,000 client. There's a really quick 10-minute call I'd love to run you through. How does that sound? Go, yeah, hell, that sounds great. I'd love to jump on a call. Awesome. So that's even someone, and again, out of the 70, this was 25 grand, I think. And this one was 70,000, and the other person was 50,000. But that's actually increased since. Similar list sizes. Several of the sales came from people who had either bought from somebody else in the end or hadn't bought from them, and they just reached out to them with a hyper specific offer. S is sales. You need to be spending more time having conversations with your current clients and saying to them, hey guys, I know that we haven't spoken in a while, or maybe you have spoken to them. We've got a brand new program we're releasing. It's a beta. We'd love you to join in. We're basically looking to help you find 120 grand's worth of work within the next 30 days. If you want to have a call about that, that'd be great. But audit them first. And it might be that you only get one person who goes through this and ends up getting it. But if you can crush it and get those results for that one person, you don't have to worry about doing lead generation again, because they will sing your praises non-stop. The final piece here is what I call sales plus. So these are your recurring revenue sales and your upsells. So this is people who have already bought from you. This is your current customers who are like your top 20%. I would highly recommend you to go after those people, but regardless, the offer stays pretty much the same. We're just trying to help this type of client, the types of clients you work with, get this tangible thing, because that's what matters to these people. That's all that matters. Just in the same way that Olivia helps people close the gap between 2 hours and 2 minutes to 1 hour 59 minutes and 59 seconds. So I know we're super close to the end. Does anyone have any questions? Throw them in. I'm happy to go over things. I'm happy to be called out on this stuff and to be challenged on it. I really, really am, because I've done it a lot. I would not be able to tell you how to do a lot of things, but I can tell you how to make sales and make money. Any questions, thoughts, comments, problems, roadblocks? Here we go.
Hey. I loved, as we're waiting to see if any questions come in, I really loved the email sample there at the end. I think
good.
It's such an integral part to the success of something like this, right? Getting the person to engage initially and then sell to them. So I really loved that. And I love how direct you are with that messaging too. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and it's funny because we do that for pretty much everything. And I have always said that a lot of the time we work on our copy and our offer and our deliverables and our skill sets, but that's got nothing to do with sales. A poorly written message with the right hook to the right audience will always convert exponentially better than like the world's most beautiful advert to the wrong audience. It's more about the specificity of what you're giving people than like how you package it up or overcomplicating it. And again, like I showed you at the start, there are people who have sent these emails and they were like, holy cow, this worked.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a question here from Lloyd. Would this work for clients in the government contracting sphere?
Yeah, so that's a good question. The short answer, Lloyd, is yes, because it's still about people, right? If you've gone through everything we've gone through here, it's still about the relationship that we have with people. And back when I would work in like a corporate environment, we would have, and I'm talking like, big multi-million-dollar contracts, they obviously had what they called a public sector wing, and it was exactly the same process. It was still the same method of outreach, whereby if we are looking to, and the thing with government as well, any kind of public sector stuff, they're less concerned obviously with making money, more saving money, which is why leadership training typically does really well with the government side if you can sell money, because you can say, you've got 10 government officials, they're having to fly backwards and forwards all the time, having all these crazy meetings. How much is that wasting? They go, 50,000 a year. Great. We have a process that is 35,000 a year that will last for 5 years, and it will save you that 50 grand. So is it worth spending 35 grand to save $250,000? You're still using that same process by calling them out on what the overall who they are, like the specific of who they are, government contractors, and the problem. Maybe they want to find more clients or something, I don't know, but the process is exactly the same. Yeah, exactly the same. I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mike. This has been amazing. I've been taking some notes back here as well because I've got my sales meeting after this. So.
Oh right, yeah. Just go out and smash it. Absolutely crush it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're very well. Like, I have a YouTube channel, guys. Is that the auditing you spoke of? Any tips or places to learn more about? Okay, so Catella, auditing you spoke of. The auditing is when you qualify them, you should be paying for, you should be charging for that. You say, yeah, I can see. How about we see if we can help you do this? You should absolutely be charging for that because it's your time. So that's the audit, and that's where you dig into these questions. Oh, I haven't got on my screen like, what do they need to have? Tips or places to learn about selling money. My book. And my YouTube channel, youtube.com/sell your service.
You can, there's the YouTube channel button right there.
That's really clever. How sick is that? Yeah, subscribe to Mike's YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Emily. Best question. It's like what's on my shirt? It's like a girl with like a octopus face. You don't like it, Beth?
Of course it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me, Emily. Massively appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to everyone who joined. I'm dropping a link. I think this will get you to Michael Killen's books on Amazon if you want to check those out. And again, subscribe to Mike's YouTube. He's creating incredible content over there and absolutely killing it. So definitely subscribe if you're not already subscribed over there. That's where you find Mike these days. So that's where he is. If you are curious if there's going to be a recording of this to go back and take notes or grab screenshots, yes. So basically immediately after this, you should be able to go and rewind and fast forward and watch the replay right here on Crowdcast. So that'll be available here. Anywhere else I should look for you, Mike? YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube is the place. Yeah,
awesome.
That's where I hang out.
Fantastic. Well, thank you everybody so much for coming. Thank you so much, Mike. We love doing these with you. You always bring so much value and so many actionable tips. So thank you so much. And the rest of you, if you haven't already seen, we are doing an SEO workshop with Lindsay Halsey later this week. So check your emails and you can join us for that as well. So we'll see you all later. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye guys. Thank you. Bye guys.